it's Ashley from Sweet Dreams Bake Shop, and welcome back to my channel where I make a lot of cake and cookie decorating tutorials as well as give a lot of baking business tips. And we are back for Vlogmas in 2025. I took a break last year, I think, from Vlogmas, and I just think let's do Vlogmas the way that it was meant to be done. Originally, before, I had made a bunch of tutorials and I did all that stuff, but this year I'm actually doing a lot of baking fundraisers and things for my school. So I'm just gonna take you on the day-to-day on how to get things like that done. Let's get into it. So the orders for this fundraiser are still live, which means that people can continue to order all the way up until Wednesday, which although is only 2 days away, I'm getting a little bit nervous / excited about the fact that the numbers are fairly high. So for cake pops, I'm going to be making 210 cake pops. For my sugar cookie kits, I'm making 144 sugar cookies, and for my cupcakes so far, 270. And I don't think that those numbers will change exponentially, but I do think that there is room for those to increase by maybe 50 in each category. So I am just wanting to be super prepared because I only have a couple weeks to get all of this done. And of course, I'm going to start with cake pops because it's one of those things that keeps really well, and in fact is usually better when they are frozen. So I'm starting with this because no matter what the numbers are, I know there's no way I'm going to be making over the amount that is due. I planned out my items really carefully. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to give myself a headache before the holiday season, so I went with things that I knew were very easy. Originally, it had been suggested that I make decorated sugar cookies, but I just knew that I would be probably crying before the actual orders were due, so I decided to go with really simple things. And if in the event I do have time, I might make some things a little bit extra special. I'm not exactly sure what the thumbnail for this particular video will look like, but I think I'm going to be using the photos that I used as my stock photo for the order placement. All of the orders were placed online so I can see things really clearly. And just a word of advice, if you are ever looking to sell things online, I always like to put a little bit of an asterisk on there saying that not all items are going to look exactly as they are pictured. Even though, of course, you probably made the items that are in the picture, you never know what things might happen as you're making mass-produced things, so it's best to always give yourself a little bit of leeway. Anyway, back to the cake pops. I did not want any risk of buttercream leakage. If you ever get oily cake pops, the reason is because your mix-in probably is a little bit too oily, so I like to opt for a ganache. And I'm going for a little bit of a cheaper quality chocolate, and the reason really is just because you really don't notice the type of chocolate used in the ganache in the actual cake itself. When it comes to enrobing the chocolate, I am going to be using a little bit of a higher quality chocolate. You want to make sure you're saving where it counts, and you want to make sure that you're investing where it counts as well. Also, I'm not a huge proponent of gloves when doing cake decorating or decorating cookies. However, for this particular task, I definitely think you should be using gloves. To each their own, but I honestly find it messes with the texture of the cake pops sometimes, and your hands just get incredibly messy, and it's a lot of hand washing in between, just because I get that uncomfortable feeling on the back of my hand when it's too messy. I find that the gloves just help me out because it's nice and slippery, so then I find the excess just gets off the glove nice and easily. I'm not going to lie to you, after I rolled these cake pops and I didn't even end up filling the full tray because of course a full tray of cake doesn't actually make a full tray of cake pops, but anyway, I digress. My arms were hurting, and if you add more ganache, you might find that your cake pops come together more easily, but then they can also kind of deflate more easily. So I always like to go a little bit drier so I really compact that cake and it stays nice like a ball. All of this cake pop rolling took me approximately 45 minutes, including making the ganache, and I had made the cake earlier. But I can already tell that this is probably going to be exponentially more work as we go on in Vlogmas, and I hope you guys stick around for that. After rolling all of those cake pops, I put them in the fridge, and then after they've solidified a little bit more in the fridge, I am going to transfer them into the freezer, and I'm going to show you how I do that in tomorrow's video because it is a little bit of a process. And before you go, I just thought I should shout out my merch because I don't really think I have since I launched it. So if you are looking for some Sweet Dreams Bake Shop merch, be sure to find it in my store. This shirt is incredibly comfortable and I wear it all the time when I'm baking. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can be part of the Sweetie fam. Right now, I'm uploading every single day for Vlogmas, so be sure to comment, request, or ask a question. I love hearing from you guys. Bye!